Everyone is talking about the F-16, but they're ignoring a fatal flaw that could ground Ukraine's Air Force on day one. While Western prestige focuses on supersonic speeds, the harsh reality of dispersed warfare demands a jet that thrives on dirt roads and makeshift runways. Is the Swedish Gripen actually superior? In a high-intensity conflict, a pristine airbase is just a target waiting to be hit. If Ukraine can't hide its planes, it can't win the war. We're analyzing why the JAS-39 Gripen's rugged engineering and simplified maintenance make it the only fighter capable of surviving Russia's relentless long-range strikes. What if the ultimate weapon for Ukraine isn't the most famous one, but the most resilient? While the F-16 requires perfect conditions, the Gripen was built for the chaos of roadside operations and rapid turnaround. Discover why Swedish engineering is the strategic savior that bridges the gap between doctrine and reality.
What if the future of Ukraine's air war is not hidden inside a giant NATO airbase, but parked under trees beside a highway, covered by camouflage nets, waiting for one signal? For 2 years, Ukraine waited for the F-16 like a miracle. Western jets were expected to change the air war, and in many ways, they did help. They gave Ukraine a modern platform, better sensors, and a stronger ability to intercept Russian drones and missiles. But the air campaigns of 2025 exposed something brutal. A fighter jet is not just an aircraft, it is a complete ecosystem. It needs missiles, trained maintainers, spare parts, safe runways, fuel trucks, hardened shelters, mission planning systems, and logistics that can survive under constant missile attack. Ukraine's F-16 fleet did not face difficulty because the aircraft itself was weak. It struggled because Ukraine is fighting a type of war that most Western air forces were not designed to fight alone. Every major airbase can be watched, every runway can be targeted, every fuel depot, storage site, and supply line can become part of Russia's strike plan. At one stage, Ukraine's F-16 operations reportedly faced a shortage of air-to-air missiles, forcing harder choices about how and when to use these aircraft. That is the harsh truth of modern war. A powerful jet without enough missiles, maintenance, or protected infrastructure becomes limited. This is the doctrine of necessity. In peacetime, air forces love prestige assets. In wartime, survival becomes the real luxury.
This is why Sweden's Gripen has suddenly become more than just another fighter jet for Ukraine. It represents a completely different idea of air power. The F-16 was built for a powerful support network. The Gripen was built for a country that expected its main air bases to be attacked. That difference is extremely important. During the Cold War, Sweden understood that if an enemy could destroy its air bases, then the Air Force had to stop depending on large air bases. This thinking created the Boss-60 and Boss-90 concepts, where aircraft were not concentrated on big, obvious runways, but scattered across roads, small strips, and hidden operating points. Gripen was born inside this philosophy. It was not designed only to look impressive. It was designed to land, refuel, rearm, disappear, and take off again before the enemy could finish tracking it. That is the highway fighter advantage. A normal runway is a target. A highway is a question mark. A small forest road is a possibility. A hidden strip can become a trap for enemy intelligence. With Gripen, the battlefield becomes a shell game. Russian surveillance may detect one location, but the aircraft may already have moved. A missile may hit a runway, but the fighter may not be there. This forces the enemy to waste expensive missiles, drones, and intelligence resources chasing shadows. In a war of attrition, making the enemy waste precision weapons is itself a victory. For Ukraine, this kind of dispersed air operation could be the difference between an aircraft that survives the first strike and an aircraft that keeps fighting after the base is hit.
Gripen's advantage is not only where it can operate from, but how little it needs to keep operating. Many Western jets are powerful, but they come with heavy maintenance demands. They need specialist crews, advanced support facilities, and deep logistics. If spare parts are delayed, if ground crews are not ready, or if major maintenance is needed too often, the aircraft can become a symbol sitting on the ground. Gripen was designed for the opposite. Swedish doctrine imagines small teams operating under pressure, away from perfect bases. A small ground crew can refuel, rearm, check systems, and prepare the aircraft for another mission quickly. This is not just engineering, this is survival culture built into the aircraft. For Ukraine, every sortie matters. Every hour saved on the ground is another chance to intercept drones, challenge Russian aircraft, or protect Ukrainian troops from glide bombs. Russia has used glide bombs as a deadly pressure weapon, often launching them from behind the front line, where Russian pilots believe they are safely out of reach. The deeper Russia can launch from safety, the more pressure Ukraine faces on the ground. But if Gripen enters the fight with advanced missiles like Meteor, strong sensors, and dispersed basing, Russian pilots face a new problem. They can no longer be completely sure where the threat is coming from. They cannot simply calculate danger from one known airbase. The front line becomes uncertain, and uncertainty is deadly in air combat.
Gripen does not need to dominate the entire Ukrainian sky to matter. That is the key point. Ukraine does not need a Hollywood version of air superiority overnight. It needs local advantage. It needs windows of opportunity. It needs moments where Russian aircraft are forced to move farther back, release weapons from less effective positions, or hesitate before entering a possible kill zone. That hesitation can save lives on the ground. In modern air war, sometimes victory is not about destroying every enemy aircraft. Sometimes it is about forcing the enemy to make worse decisions. Then comes the digital layer. Gripen is not just a small fighter with short-road capability. It is a networked fighter. Its sensors, data links, electronic warfare systems, and weapons are designed to work together. This means one Gripen does not always need to act alone. It can receive targeting data from other sensors. It can operate with its radar silent. It can use passive systems to reduce its exposure. It can share information with other platforms and turn scattered assets into one connected battlefield picture. This is where electronic warfare becomes a force multiplier. Against Russian systems like the S-400 and fighters like the Su-35, the battle is not only missile versus missile, it is signal versus signal, detection versus deception, and reaction time versus confusion. The side that sees first, understands first, and shoots first has the advantage. Gripen's electronic warfare suite is not magic. It will not erase Russia's air defenses, but it gives Ukraine another tool in the invisible war, where radars, jammers, sensors, and data links decide who survives before a missile is even launched. This is why a smaller number of aircraft can still matter. If every missile has a better chance of hitting, if every aircraft is harder to locate, and if every runway becomes less important, then the entire Air Force becomes more resilient.
This is the strategic blueprint for 2027 and beyond. Sweden's defense cooperation with Ukraine is not only about delivering jets, it is about helping Ukraine build a more sustainable air force. Training, maintenance support, spare parts, ammunition, electronic warfare, and future industrial cooperation all point toward one larger goal. Ukraine cannot depend forever on emergency donations. It needs an air system it can keep alive under fire. The F-16 gave Ukraine a bridge into Western air power. Gripen may give Ukraine a model for wartime survival. This lesson does not only matter for Ukraine. Other countries around the world are watching carefully. In the missile age, static air bases are dangerous. Big runways, large hangars, and visible fuel sites can become graves for expensive aircraft. The future belongs to air forces that can move, hide, repair, reconnect, and fight again. So the real question is not whether Gripen is more famous than the F-16. It is not whether it looks more powerful on paper. The real question is this: which fighter can still fight after the airbase is hit? Because in Ukraine, that may be the only question that matters. The era of static air superiority is ending. The era of the hidden, mobile, decentralized air force is beginning. And if Sweden's Gripen enters Ukraine's war the way it was designed to fight, Russia may not face just another jet. It may face an air force that is suddenly much harder to kill. If you want more deep defense analysis like this, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and tell us in the comments, is Gripen the fighter Ukraine actually needed from the beginning?